Thank you for listening to Shulchanaruchharav.com.
Are women obligated in the mitzvah of Kiddush Levana, and should they do so or not? So as a general rule, women are obligated in all mitzvahs that men are obligated in, with exception to time-dependent commands, in which women are exempt, such as tzitzis and tefillin. And the question is asked, what is the status of Kiddush Levana? Is it considered a time-dependent command in which women are exempt from or not? Before we go into the discussion of the poskim, first let's analyze the sides of the argument. On the one hand, one can say Kiddush Levana, sanctifying the moon, which men do once a month, is certainly time-dependent, as it's done once a month, upon the new arrival of the moon. So women should be exempt from Kiddush Levana. On the other hand, however, it's not so simple. By all other time-dependent commands, there's a time of year that makes one obligated to do the mitzvah, such as blowing shofar on Rosh Hashanah. And since the entire mitzvah is dependent on the time, so women are exempt. But here, the mitzvah is not necessarily dependent on the time, that it's once a month, but on the moon. It's dependent on the object, that the object went through a renewal. Do we say saying a bracha on water is a time-dependent command because every time you want to drink it, you're now chayav to say a bracha? Do we say women shouldn't say shechianu on new fruits because they're time-dependent commands? No, we don't. As there, it's an object renewal that makes the bracha obligated, and the same thing applies here. So which side of the argument is correct? So practically, the poskim rule that women are exempt from the saying of Kiddush Levana, as it's considered just like all other time-dependent commands. So rules the Magen Avraham in 426.1 and 296.11, and the Alter Rebbe in Shulchanaruch 106.2 and in the Mishnah Berurah 426.1. The Chachma Shleimeh in his commentary on the Shulchanaruch in 426, however, questions and argues and negates this ruling, saying, hey, it's not a real time-dependent command, as we already explained in the second argument. It's dependent on an item's renewal. So he says women should be obligated in the mitzvah. But nonetheless, halacha l'maisa, we do not rule this way, and an explanation of why it's really considered a time-dependent command, one can explain it's not like a new fruit that remains with ability for you to say shechianu as whenever you decide to eat it, even months later. While the new moon may only be sanctified the first half, so there is a very specified time limiting the mitzvah, and it thus is a regular time-dependent command. So practically, women are exempt from Kiddush Levana, but nonetheless, our discussion doesn't end here. Just because a woman is exempt from a mitzvah doesn't mean she can't do it. Such a beautiful mitzvah to embrace the new moon and say a blessing to Hashem, especially with everything we know how it has such power in bringing the Geula, as we say in the Nusach of Kiddush Levana. Okay, so women are exempt, but let them do it anyways. According to Ashkenazi custom, women are allowed to even say a bracha on mitzvahs that they are exempt from. So they're allowed to hear shofar and Rosh Hashanah and even say a bracha v'asher kedishanu Lishmaya kol shofar. So very interestingly, we find in the Achreinim, the Pri Megadim, and also in the Magen Avraham, that not only are women exempt from the mitzvah of Kiddush Levana for the reasons we explained, but they specifically do not say it. In other words, they didn't take this exemption as the regular exemptions of mitzvahs that they can still do on their own. Rather, they treat this mitzvah of Kiddush Levana similar to tzitzis and tefillin, that they do not do, and they should not do so. What's the reason why? So there's two reasons recorded in the poskim. The Magen Avraham quotes the Shlah, who writes a mystical reason, saying that technically women could choose to recite Kiddush Levana if they wished. However, they should not do so, as a woman, meaning Chava, was responsible for the diminishing of the moon as a result of the sin of the Eitz Hadas that she caused. So she shouldn't be doing Kiddush Levana with the moon. This is one answer given. Another answer given in the Magen Avraham is that when do we say a woman's allowed to do a mitzvah and say a bracha, even though when she's exempt, when the mitzvah involves an action, hearing shofar, shaking lulav. But a mitzvah that's just a bracha in and of itself, such as Kiddush Levana, there's no action, by then we agree that a woman may not say the bracha. Whatever the case is, the minhag is that women do not recite Kiddush Levana, in addition to the fact that they are exempt from the mitzvah. We will conclude with an interesting statement in the Talmud, in Sanhedrin 42a, which states that there's a long nusach and a short nusach of Kiddush Levana, and the Gemara says the short nusach is for women, which seems to imply that women do say Kiddush Levana, unlike our conclusion. And so writes the Kaf HaChaim based on this Gemara, that it's proper for women to hear the bracha from a man and then say the rest of the nusach. Nonetheless, the Magen Avram and other poskim explicitly negate this statement from the Gemara, meaning they explain it differently. And as the Pri Megadim concludes, that women are not say Kiddush Levana even without a blessing, the Minhag Yisrael Teirahi, and this is what women of all generations have followed and are to continue to follow.
Thank you for listening to Shulchanaruchharav.com. Our free services of making Torah knowledge available to the public depends on donors like you. Please help us continue our work through making even a small contribution at Shulchanaruchharav.com under the Daily Halacha Dedication section or in the subscription page. Also, check out our online courses and many sefarim available for purchase that will both enhance your Torah knowledge and help support our work.